it's school holidays, so we might have the kids come in and out of the kitchen while we cook together, but that's okay. Doesn't matter if that happens. Dishwasher's going in the background, but hopefully you can still hear me. These are the easiest brownies you will ever make. Now, they are incredibly simple. They're not fancy brownies. There's no extras in them. They're just comfort food. Very, very easy with pantry ingredients. Very simple. No fuss. No fancy add-ins, but they are amazing. And they're so easy to make. So yeah, we're going to jump in and do that. Now, if you want to, you can add nuts or chocolate chips and make them fancier, or you can ice them at the end, or you can put icing sugar on them. I don't bother with any of that because they're already so good. But if you're looking for a really easy brownie recipe that you can make with pantry ingredients, this is great if you have vegans in the family. It's great if you've run out of milk or run out of eggs. Yeah, there's a number of reasons why you're going to want to make pantry ingredient brownies, and this is absolutely the go-to recipe. So let's make it. All right, we're going to need some plain flour. I've got Aldi ingredients mostly, I think. Yeah, and a little bit of Coles. You're going to need some hot tap water, just regular water straight out of the tap. You'll need some brown sugar and some white sugar. My recipe's behind you, so that's why I keep looking up. You will need table salt and vanilla essence or vanilla extract. Either one is fine. And you're going to need cocoa powder. I just use the Coles brand one. And some vegetable oil. We'll use olive oil from Aldi, that's fine. And then the last thing you need is baking powder. And then that's everything, that's all you need. So I'm going to put an apron on, but first I'm going to preheat my oven. Now, if you are in the US, it's 350 Fahrenheit. If you're in Australia, 180 Celsius. So I'm going to go and do that now. We have a new oven because our oven died a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I've cooked live with you guys, but we have a new oven, which I'm very excited about because now I don't have to clean the old one. So I've been wiping this one clean every night after we use it for the day. And sorry, that's really bugging me. I've got like half a curl there. Anyway, I've been wiping the oven clean at night so that it doesn't have build-up of oil and residue, and I'm hoping that it stays clean. We didn't buy a new one because we needed a clean oven. We just happened to have need a new oven, but the bonus is it's very, very clean. Okay, apron on. This one's not going to do a lot, but it's my last apron. I have to take care of the laundry after this. But I feel like brownies trump laundry. Don't you think? Especially in school holidays. The kids are here. These will be ready in time for them to have them for recess that they'd normally have at school. Okay, let's stop rambling and make the brownies. So the first thing I'm going to do is wash this bowl out because it sits on the counter overnight and gets a little bit dusty. And our cats, yeah, get into everything. So I'll give this a quick wash. Going to use the KitchenAid to make it easy. You can mix this by hand if you want to, and I'm using the cake batter blade. So take care of that and I'll be right back. I'll turn you this way in case you want to watch. Don't mind the cookbook shelf. Yeah, so I've had a couple of weeks off cooking live. I don't know if you guys know, if you're on my Instagram you might have noticed that I had an unexpected surgery a couple of weeks ago. Had to go into emergency and have my gallbladder out. Very glamorous. Not glamorous at all. Anyway, I'm totally fine now. I can't lift heavy things for about a month, but apart from that, I'm fine. But it did mean that I couldn't do much around the house for a good week or so. And I was in hospital for about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days altogether. But all's well that ends well. And that's why when we put the carrot cake up recipe up last week, it's a different style of video because I just couldn't go live. I prefer live, but I just couldn't do it. And I'm sure you guys understand. Okay, so this is clean. I'm just going to rinse it. Did I rinse this one? That's good. This can go on. if anything, 5 kilos or more. So luckily, most of the stuff in my kitchen is less than that. Okay, let's turn you around. I need to put you down. I need to put you down so you can see what we're doing. Okay, can you see? Let's just go a little higher. There we go. That should help. Alright, so brownies are really, really easy. The oven's preheating, and what we're going to do is mix a cup of hot tap water with a cup of flour. I like to measure my flour with a 1/4 cup measure, and then that saves this one for the liquids. And as always, we put our little utensils on a little plate so that I don't have to worry about, you know, if I dripped eggs on the counter and then put a utensil on the counter and then dipped it in the flour, you know, I just have that, I get a bit paranoid. Okay, so we're going to do a cup of flour. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the flour. And then we need a cup of water, and it needs to be hot water out of the tap. It's totally drinkable where I live. That's no big deal. So that's in, and then we mix. Super easy. So gentle mix is fine. And now we're going to grab a second bowl for the other stuff. This bowl needs a wash, so I'm going to do that while that's the gentle soothing sound of the mixer. The kids are watching a movie, so they're pretty quiet at the moment. But who knows, it might get crazy at some point too. Okay. So that's mixing quite well. I'm just going to move that up to 2, get it going a little bit faster. And that looks good. Okay, so in another bowl, I feel like this is going to be too big, but that's okay. So we need to mix the sugar. Now for the sugar, we have 1 cup of brown and 1 cup of white. This is a really easy recipe to remember. I like to go in first with the white sugar so that the cup stays a little cleaner. And we go 1, 2, it's a lot of sugar. This is definitely a treat. 3, 4. I like to make these for our family dinner. We have our extended family. We all get together once a week. Well, we're restricted with COVID, so we can't at the moment. But usually we get together once a week and have dinner together, which is one of my favorite times of the week. Okay, so we need a cup of brown sugar now, so I'm going to just do that. Okay, kids are starting to get crazy in the lounge room. You may hear it. 1. Do you know what I love about brown sugar? Is this shape that it makes. 2. I just love that it makes those little half moon shapes. 3. Look how cute that is. See? And it's easy to count how many I've done. Because I usually talk too much and then forget. I think I did that in the carrot cake recipe and had to go back and add another cup of flour. Okay, so that's a cup of brown sugar and a cup of white sugar. And next, we're going to add the salt, the vanilla, cocoa powder, and oil. Kids, not too crazy, please. Okay. Get the sugar off my hands. Now, salt is, I'm going to leave the recipe after we finish cooking. Sorry, everybody, because I forgot to do it before. Okay, so we need a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla. This salt shaker thing doesn't like me very much, so it's going to take me a few goes. Can you see me? There we go. So teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of vanilla. Sometimes I cheat and I let the vanilla dribble over so that it's just a bit more than a teaspoon because I just really love vanilla. It's a pretty forgiving recipe. So sugar, salt, vanilla is next. Let's do a teaspoon of that. So yeah, I just kind of pour it and then I go, oops, I did a little bit too much. And next we need to do 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. So I'm just going to rinse off my 1/4 cup measure and give it a little dry. Cocoa powder is the messiest thing I have ever cooked with, but that is not going to stop me from using it. Especially when it's the Coles one, because it's not a user-friendly box and packet. You get very, very dirty from it, messy from it. I could buy the expensive cocoa powder and have a nice jar, but I would rather spend that money on paying off the mortgage early or going to the movies. So yeah. Okay, so we have 1/4 of a cup. And we need 3/4. This is very, very heavy on the cocoa too, so they turn out very, very dark. Very, very rich, but it's a good balance between the sugar and the cocoa. You can definitely reduce it if you want to. It's a pretty forgiving recipe, but I tend to just follow the same pattern every time. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands off. Do you know what? I probably could just add this stuff to the other bowl. I probably will do that next time. Okay, so we've got the cocoa powder in there. Now we need to add the oil, which is 1/2 cup. So I'm just going to go in with my dirty cocoa cup and go, yeah, you know what, I'm going to just add this to the one bowl next time. 1/4, and I need one more. Maybe we'll just tip it all in, do you think? Because otherwise I've got to stir this one by hand, and I like to do things the easy way, maybe the lazy way. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to pour it in. Get a little spoon out. Oh, I've got the spoon. I might as well mix it. We'll get a bit of a homestead vibe going on and mix it by hand. Oh, no, that's a bad idea. That's too hard. Okay. So, just going to tip this straight in. This is why I don't have a real cooking show, guys. Because I'm winging it a lot of the time. Okay, so that's going in. And I know it does not look like much right now. I agree. But later, it's an amazing magic with this, how it comes together. Okay, so let's put this down. Start it on 1, as we always do. I'm going to mix it really well, and then when this is mixed, we add more flour, baking powder, and then we're done. I'm going to rinse this while we're waiting for the mix. Actually, I'll wash it. Okay, that's going to soak for a minute. Let's go up to 2. Should we go crazy and go 4? Yeah, let's do it. Now, if you're really dedicated to baking, you could get a spatula and run it around the edge at this point. I'm too lazy for that, so I'm not going to. Okay, look at that. That looks amazing. Now we need to add the rest of the flour and the baking powder. If I add all the flour at the start, it gets way too thick and gluggy. So that's why I wait till the end. So it's actually 2 cups of flour for this whole thing. Now remember our cup measure before only had water in it? And this one is dry again now. So I'm going to use this for the final cup measure, seeing my other one is very dirty. Okay, so yeah, we do 1 cup of flour at the start and another cup of flour at the end, which is totally fine. Okay. So flour in, Look how cute that is. We also need half a teaspoon of baking powder because I don't want the brownies to rise too much, but I do want them to rise just a little bit. So I like my brownies just a little bit cakey. So half a teaspoon of baking powder goes in. And then we're going to mix again. Bring you close up. Can you see? While that's mixing, I'm going to put these things away and get the brownie pan ready. Go to 2. Let's go to 4. Okay, that's looking good. Have a good look at this silky goodness. The light is terrible. You might not be able to see it, but I'll show you in a minute when I pour it in the pan. We're going to let that drip off for a minute. I've just got one of the kids coming in, so I'll just be a second. Okay, tell them I said that they need to stop.
Need to stop.
Without any more warnings, please.
Without.
Thank you. They're arguing over fidget toys. Okay, so here's the pan, brownie pan. So nice and shallow here. I think this might be my sister's. Sorry, Mel. I think I was meant to give this back ages ago, but I'm in love with it, so I will bring it back, I promise. But I'm going to make brownies one more time in it. So in terms of zero waste, you've got a couple of choices with your brownie pan. You can either just spray it with canola oil and then it won't stick, or you can use one of the silicone liners. I like the greener ones and we have those, but brownies work quite well when I spray them, and I'm making these with oil in them anyway, so I don't mind using oil as well. If you were trying to make this an oil-free recipe, you'd substitute the half a cup of vegetable oil with a half a cup of applesauce, and then you would use the liner on your pan so that you didn't have to use oil spray. But I'm not eating these ones, the kids are, and they don't have any diet restrictions. Whereas I do, I have to be low in fat. So this is almost stripped off by now. I'll just give that a little run along the edge. Okay, lovely. That can soak. And now I'm just going to grab a spoon and we're going to pour it in. So we basically just want to dump it all in there like a big brown blob. going to say what that's going to look like. And then it's a very thick mixture, but it starts to spread out on its own, so it's very easy. Okay, scrape your spoon off as you go, and then you just want to make sure you're getting into as much of that as you can, and then let it drop off the spoon as well. That's very satisfying. It does this really nice little thud noise, and I love it. Okay, I'm going to scoop again. At this point I'm going to put it down because it's heavy and I'm not meant to be lifting anything heavy. And I'll grab my small spoon and we're going to work together with these. Sounds like somebody's walking their dogs past our house because my dogs are on high alert. So if you hear barking, don't worry, they're just very protective. Either that or my husband's home from his doctor's appointment. Okay, I think just one more spoon is what I can get out of this. I don't want to waste it because every extra bite that you can get of a brownie, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Okay, actually I'm going to blob that in the corner. Yum! I won't be eating these ones because I can't, but I'm so excited to look at them. Okay. That looks so good. I'm going to take you off the stand so you can have a closer look. Okay, it's going to go crazy for a second while I flip the camera. Oh. Look at that. Do you see what I mean about easy? And then all I'm going to do now is pick it up, take it over, and pop it in the oven. Okay, so straight in. And we're going to set our timer. Don't mind my lunch dishes. We're going to set a timer for 25 minutes. Lovely. Okay, and that's it. The brownies are in the oven. Bye, Sol. So the brownies are in the oven, and now we're going to do what we usually do is we clean up while we're waiting for them to cook. And then if we have extra time after we clean up and do the dishes, then I'm going to declutter and clean out one of these cutlery drawers. I actually think it'll be more of a clean out than a declutter because I don't really have anything that I want to get rid of, but there might be some random cheese knives in there actually. Anyway, so let's do the dishes together and clean up the kitchen. I'll start by soaking this bowl. It's going to take 25 minutes, I think, to clean up, do the dishes, and take care of that drawer. So we might as well spend the time together. Yeah, so we might as well spend the time together, right? So, I'm just adding some hot water to this bowl and a little squirt of dishwashing liquid. And then I'll do the counters and the KitchenAid. Then we'll put the rest of the dishes in the dishwasher or wash in my hand. And take care of a few things from lunch as well. Alright, KitchenAid first. Let me know if you want to watch me do this part or if you just want to chat at the same time. Okay, that's nice and clean. And now we're going to do the counter. That's looking good. I'm going to need to move you back a little bit so I can clean the counter and put the KitchenAid away. Okay, that sounds like it's full. Alright, so this is probably my favourite part about simple living, is this whole using waiting time for something that makes your life easier later. And for me, that's cleaning as I go and just kind of pottering about and enjoying the process. There's a cookbook ribbon in my way. There we go. Just kind of pottering about and enjoying the process makes a really big difference, I find. Can I get you closer, Timmy? Can I bring you closer so we can chat better? There's going to be a cupboard in our way, I think. Let's go up higher. Oh, what we'd give for a camera crew, hey? Okay, if I go this way and then put you down a little, now we can see. There we go. Okay, it's not perfect, but it'll do. Hang on, I feel like I can get it better than that. Can you still see me? No. What about now? You're either going to see me or the dishes, lovelies. That will do. Anyway, so yeah, so I try and live a really simple life because I find it makes life more enjoyable when I have less to stress about, less to do. And good things tend to happen when I just relax and slow down. So it's kind of how I live now. It helps that I can work from home and I can work online, and not everybody does that. So kind of, I'm in a lucky situation there at the moment. But when I was working outside of home, it was kind of the same thing, you know, like any job or any task on the to-do list or anything that needed to get done, there's always going to be something that I don't enjoy. So for me, the big focus in those moments is just how do I find a way to enjoy it more or make it a little easier, more relaxing. That's kind of the way I think. So when it comes to days like this where I'm at home and we're pottering about and just enjoying being at home in the kitchen, I still don't love cleaning, but I think the reason it goes so well now is because I find a way to enjoy it. So cleaning as I'm waiting for something to cook doesn't seem like a big deal because I'm already in the kitchen. But cleaning after I've cooked and after we've eaten, and then that walking back into a big messy kitchen, that I hate. I really, really hate that. So now I clean while I wait for the brownies to cook, or now I clean while I wait for the chicken to cook, or the dinner, or the bread, or whatever we're making. And that probably sounds like a common sense thing, but I never used to do it that way. I used to cook, eat, and then dread coming in and cleaning up afterwards. And then I used to think, okay, well, I've got to do a big declutter and organising session and get my wardrobe in shape or get my whole kitchen decluttered. And I would think I would need to do the whole thing at once. No, I can use my waiting time while something's cooking in the oven. I can declutter one drawer or one shelf of one cupboard in my kitchen or anywhere else in the house, really. And I don't even have to do one drawer or one shelf, right? We can just do one section of one shelf and it's still an improvement. And then our house becomes something that's a work in progress all the time. So we can still use it and work with it and it's not a big deal, but we still declutter and organise and tidy and keep it clean and enjoy using it at the same time. So it's like now, I'm in no hurry to do the dishes. And so it doesn't feel like a hard job to do them. Okay, so we've got all the chocolate batter out of this bowl. And now while I'm washing that, I'm just going to take care of the utensils as well. Just as if this big bowl's a sink. We don't need it to be full of hot water yet. I'm just going to do a little bit of dishes without talking for a minute now so I can focus. And we've still got about 18 minutes on the brownies. So if you're watching live, this is even if you're not watching live, this is a really good time for you to take me into your kitchen and maybe take care of something in there as well, you know, while we're watching and chatting and hanging out together. This is a great time if you want to do your dishes, or if you want to declutter one section of one shelf, or if you want to prep something for lunch or dinner later. I'm finding this routine at the moment. It's kind of like a rhythm where I really enjoy cooking my dinners during the day when I have a bit more time. Things aren't as hectic if I'm home anyway. I find once I get to about 5 o'clock, I get pretty burnt out. Like pretty, I don't know. I used to be a night owl, but I'm really not anymore. And so I'm fine at 5. I can still cook dinner, but it's not very enjoyable. So what I do now is I cook dinner at lunchtime a lot of the time. And then I pack it away and I reheat it at dinner time. And I make a few days worth at a time and I freeze them or pop them in the fridge. So the other day I had a sweet potato to use up. I should have filmed while I was cooking that. I had a sweet potato to use up, and there's this really easy sweet potato gnocchi recipe online. And so I made it. You basically just, for every cup of hot mashed sweet potato, just roasted and mashed, you don't add anything to it. You do a cup of roasted mashed sweet potato and a cup of flour, and you mix them together until it forms a dough, and then you roll out into gnocchi shape and then boil it for 5 minutes and then pop it in a fry pan with whatever sauce you're having. It was so easy and it's so enjoyable, and it made so much from the one sweet potato. I ended up with 2 cups worth of flour and 2 cups of sweet potato mash. And yeah, it was a really nice dinner. For my sauce, I just sauteed some onions and garlic and mushrooms and tomatoes, I think it was. Onions, garlic, mushroom, tomatoes, yeah. And then just kind of cooked that down into a sauce. And then added the gnocchi at the very end after it had boiled. I added it to the fry pan. And it was amazing. It was such a nice dinner, and there was enough for 2. And I eat big portions. I go back to seconds pretty much every meal. Or I serve a really big portion because my meals are all veggie based and carb based now. And there was enough for 2 days worth. So then the next day all I had to do was take it out of the fridge and reheat it. I feel like we're talking about stuff that everybody knows and everybody does, but I don't know. That's just life, I guess, right? But it does mean that my days are more enjoyable because I enjoy cooking in the daytime, and my nights are more enjoyable because I don't have to cook at night, which I really, really love. Okay, we're down to the last bowl, and the brownies still have about 14 minutes. I'm just going to give this a bit of a once over with my hands first, get most of that cocoa off, just so that the cloth stays a little bit cleaner, and then we'll go in again. I really don't have enough for dishwashing machine, so I'm just going to keep going by hand. Oh, it's so gooey. I'm not a sensory person. I don't love Play-Doh or slime. My daughter loves them. I do not. So for me, I should have got her to wash these dishes. She would have loved washing these dishes. Actually, no, she would not have loved washing the dishes. She would have loved touching the batter. Oh, so that reminds me, this brownie batter, there's no eggs in it, so there's no raw eggs in it, so you can eat the batter. No problem. But it's more enjoyable to eat the brownie, I think. But if you've got kids who are making this with you and they want to lick the spoon, go ahead, don't worry about it. This is very hard to get off. This flour water mixture, very tricky, very sticky. It's such a strange recipe because you wouldn't think that you could just put pantry ingredients in brownies and it would turn out that nice, but it really does. Okay, this is clean. That can rest up there. This is almost done. bowl is done. Right. Okay, those are looking great. Let's clean this cloth now. Try to get the cloth clean enough now. I'm going to ditch it for the rest of the day in terms of cooking, but if I can get it clean enough, I can clean the cupboard with it and then just throw it in the wash. So we're going to do that. Okay, that's going to work. Okay, so no, that's not going to work. Look how dirty it still is. Let's just get a fresh one. We've got tons of them. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes left on the brownies. Counters are clear, dishes are done. Let's do a cutlery drawer. Bring you back down again. A little. Can you see me? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I'm going to do the top drawer, which is a total mess right now. Have a look at this. You're going to be able to see? It's hard to see, but there's a fair bit of dust in here. So I have two removable drawers. I don't recommend these. They're from Daiso. They look really pretty. I definitely do not recommend them because they don't fit anything properly. But I have another one that I can wash and replace. This is very dirty in here. I'm going to put these things that were laying in the drawer, I'm going to put them in the to wash section of the sink. They're going to have to go into the recycling. And why is there a hair elastic in my kitchen drawer? That is a really good question. Okay, so I have a cloth that I prepared earlier. This one I was doing some washing of pots and pans with, and that's still pretty clean. So I'm just going to give that another wash out, and then I'm going to use that for the gross part of the drawer. And honestly, you guys know cleaning out a drawer is not fun, but it's really easy. All you do is you go through, wipe out the gross part, try not to think about what is in there and how it got there and how long it's been since you've cleaned it last, because we all have those thoughts. No one's perfect, nobody has to be. Rinse out the cloth and go back again for a second round trip. Yeah, so I was at the op shop a few months ago. This is how long this sort of stuff takes sometimes. So please don't let people on YouTube make you feel like you're behind when it comes to clean with me videos or anything like that. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses and we all have busy lives. But yeah, a few months ago I was at the op shop and I found a cutlery holder that I think is going to fit in here. So I'm going to go and grab that now, give it another wash, and we'll pop it in and see if it fits, hey? Okay. Come on. There's this one last little spot that I need to get. Nope, that didn't work. Aha, that's better. All right. Just continues to haunt me. All right, we're looking good. So this cloth is done now. Actually, no, I'm washing this again. I'm going to use it in the cutlery tray. Hang on. Okay, we're clean again. Drawer is clean now. I will be back. I'm going to get the cutlery tray. Please hold. Hi. Have you had any water today?
what's cooking after?
The brownies?
Yeah.
You can have them for recess if you want to. You don't want anyone to see you.
Too late.
You're in the wrong room. Tomorrow morning you guys can get your drink bottles first thing.
Yeah. There's no box.
What glass are you looking for? This one?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
It's got something in there.
Oh yeah, it's the brownies. It's a good brownies. This is what I found at the op shop. It needs a clean, so we're going to clean it now. Don't mind, you'll be able to hear Dora in the background. Are you going to shut the door? Thank you, honey. So we're just going to do a little scrub.
Okay.
Thanks, George. You still right? Shut the door, honey?
Yeah.
Thank you. I walked out and the girls were like lazing around on the lounge. And I thought, well, they're either bored or they're thirsty because I haven't seen either of them drink water yet today. And I normally make them fill up a drink bottle at the start of the day and drink out of that. And today I was out this morning doing a checkup with the doctor. And you know tweens, right? If you don't ask them to do it, they won't do it. You have to specifically ask them or do it for them. And I'm too lazy to do it for them all the time because I do mine. Okay, so scrubbed, let's rinse and dry. Using up way too much water. I really needed to think of a better plan for that. Okay, this is my tea towel. Oh, come on. Sorry everybody, I just hit low power mode on my phone. And I don't know if I disappeared or not. But if I did, I'm sorry, I'm back. Okay. So this is a much better size in terms of holding the cutlery, but let's see if it actually fits in this drawer. It cost exactly, I think it was $2. So if it's not a perfect fit, I'm going to redonate it, or I'm going to look around the house for maybe another section where it could be helpful. Maybe as a, like a pens drawer. What do you call that? Stuff that you write with. Stationery. Could be a stationery drawer, organizer. Could organize bathroom things, I guess, but I think it's going to fit in the kitchen. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't fit anywhere, we will redonate it. These bits are hard to dry at the back. Just going to do the best I can. And we're done. Okay, please fit, please fit, please fit. Have a look. Still too small, but it fits. So, what shall I do? That's not going to work. Okay. Let's see if what I have actually fits in there. You can come back here and we'll do this on the counter. There we go. Come up a little closer. There we go. Okay. Can you see? Can you see? Alright. How's that? Yeah, we can see there, right? Sorry, everybody. Okay, let's try that. So, what order do you put your cutlery in? Knives, forks, spoons? We do knives, then forks, then spoons. And then teaspoons spoons can go in the front. It does fit them better. So far, so good. Okay. Randoms. Randoms are straws. This stuff needs a wash. Straws, medicine scoops, cheese knives. I mean, we use cheese platters maybe twice a year. And I think we could use a regular knife for that. So maybe I should let them go. But straws and straw cleaners. Okay. These are corn cob holders that my mother-in-law gave us, and we love them so much. Medicine spoons. And this, which is one of those little pickled onion olive holder things that I actually use for cleaning. So I'm going to put that in my cleaning drawer instead. Okay. Corn cob holders I'm going to put somewhere else. In the pantry drawer behind me. Okay, this has gone pretty well. Cheese knives I'm going to find another home for. Candles, I'm going to put them in a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to put them in a container in the pantry. I have another liquid medicine cup here that I'm just washing now. It's time to check the brownies. Did you hear that? It's time to check the brownies. Timer just went off. We're going to pop a skewer in there in a second and just see if they're cooked. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do medicine spoons up the top, scoops here. You know what? We only need one scoop, one spoon, one cup. So let's declutter the extras. Straws. Oh. Yes, that's better. Okay. Right, so this is what this looks like now. And this is what we're left with in the others. This one's empty. This one has random stuff that can go elsewhere. Let's put this in the drawer. And now we have extra space. Okay? I have all of this here. And I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to leave it empty for now. Maybe, oh, I know. So the KitchenAid things will just go in here and the measuring cups will go in there. Okay, so that will have a spot. I'd love to find a container for here, but it's not necessary. So that's okay. This is how my brain works when I'm doing projects. Okay, cheese knives are going to go down lower. Plastic forks can go in a container in the pantry, and so can candles. This is a juice ice block maker lid that can have a wash, and then I'll actually put juice in it and stick it in the freezer so that we're using it and not forgetting about it. So, done. You want to check brownies with me? Let's do it. Oh, I dropped another tea towel on the floor. Can you see it? Apparently I'm not the best at this stuff. Okay, we didn't end up using this because I washed the other one, so this will go back in the drawer. This is going in the cleaning section. This, I'm going to leave that on the floor till we're done so that I don't have to keep finding places for dirty things and washing my hands and blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's check the brownies. Oh, wow. They look good. Where's my tray? But we need to check it with a skewer and see if it's okay. So let's look down. Here we go. Okay. Skewer. Any skewer will do. I have a wooden handled one from our camping. Okay. In. Oh, it's not perfectly clean. Oh, it's pretty close though. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes and then that's it. And I think we'll be okay then. And I'm risking about 5 minutes, but I tend to be an overcooker rather than an undercooker. This is the point where I give you a disclaimer and go, I overcook things all the time, so my things are not perfect. A lot of my friends would at this point say, okay, take it out, that skewer's pretty clean. Take it out, let it cool down, it will cook more in the pan. But I just have this paranoia that, I mean, there's no raw eggs in it, it's probably going to be fine. No, I'm just going to put it in for another 5 minutes. So don't take my advice if you don't want to. You can take it out at this point, and I'm sure it will be fine because I've done it before. But I just have this thing. Telling me, keep it in there for another 5. Okay, so these all need a wash. We try and use plastic cutlery as much as possible, and we try not to bring more in, but somehow it keeps entering the home. Stab myself with the skewer. This is why I don't have a cooking show. Hang on. Okay, I'm okay. So, candles in a container, that's what I was doing. We're just going to chat for a couple of minutes. I feel like I've chatted for a minute already. Oh yeah, we're already at 3.5 minutes left. Okay, so candles can go in the candle box. And now I need to think, okay, what am I going to do with these pink Organised? So these babies, I'm thinking maybe after a clean, bathroom drawer or kids' drawers. I'm not sure. We'll wing it. We will wing it. We don't really have much else to talk about, darlings. I could do more washing up, but I don't really have any drying rack space. That's a lie. I'm being lazy. Let's just do the washing up while we wait for that last couple of minutes, hey? I think I have some hot water in my kettle. I'm going to use that. Get that new fresh cloth out again for new dishes. Might as well use up this water. Yeah? Pardon?
What time is it?
1:30. Yeah. What time is it now? Nearly 1? Okay.
What time is it?
So in half an hour. Okay. And then the brownies will be ready too. The kids just came in and asked to go back on their computers, which they can at 1:30. So we're going to give these a little wash now. Nice and easy. And they can just stand and dry on the rack like that. These are cute little organisers. They just didn't fit in the top drawer. But that's okay. They can be adorable somewhere else in the house. Alright, next. These guys. We just quietly wash dishes for a minute. Until the timer goes off. Ooh, egg rings. I'm meat-free, dairy-free, oil-free and egg-free at the moment, but the rest of the family eats whatever they want. So, it's handy to find those. Okay, those brownies are coming out now. Let's do it. Back to the oven. Okay. Oh, they look good. Let's skewer these again. See how they turned out. Hey, come on down. Perfectly clean. Okay, they're done. So we're going to pop an umbrella over these, let them cool down in the pan. The umbrella stops flies and also stops cats. So that's good. And they look amazing. When they cool, I cut them in the pan and then I take them out one by one and then I let them go on a plate, make sure they're cool, and then I put them in the freezer if we're not going to use them straight away. And then when the kids go to school, they just get one out in the morning, stick it in their lunchbox, and it's defrosted in time to eat it at lunch or recess. At home, I'm going to put them in the fridge instead of the freezer because they're going to be eaten by tomorrow. By the time you count our kids, my husband, neighborhood kids, yeah, they're going to go pretty quickly. But I will try and make sure I get a photo for Instagram so that you can see how they turn out when they're actually done on the plate, ready to eat. And that's it for us today, lovelies. We made brownies together. We tidied up the kitchen. We decluttered a drawer and organised it. We have had a very productive hour. So thank you so much for being with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.